once those easterlies gave over, summer's just been nasty for easterlies. I don't know, a lot of people still head offshore in the easterlies, but I just don't like getting beaten up. I prefer these beautiful autumn afternoons like this, where the easterly drops late arvo, and you can get out and get nice calm afternoon. So I'm just heading for this little spot here. You can see it on my GPS there. I'll show you what happens when I get over it. It's like 16 meters. So it's 19, 18. It's still, as you can see, the color of the ground there is still pretty light bottom. I think it's just sort of like light limestoney bottom. It's not super hard. You can see there's not a lot of fluff on top, so there's not a huge amount of that heavy kelpy sort of stuff. It's basically just the back edge of the reef where it drops down. So I'm just going to go straight in here because that's which way the wind's blowing. Straight into the wind a bit, and then I'm going to drop my pick. Alright, I'm going to drop the pick around here somewhere. Alright, so as you can see, the bottom is nothing really that special. Why here? I don't know. I've caught fish here before. That's pretty much it really. I marked it here once before. I caught a couple of big pinkers here before. Like I say, the bottom is not super heavy rough, but it is kind of like light porous limestone. It's a bit up and downy, and it runs into the sand out behind me here and down into the deeper water. So far the anchor's just not grabbing anything. We're just sort of drifting here. Hopefully it'll grab any minute, because it's kind of, like I said, just sort of sandy, real low porous sort of limestone. Come on anchor, anytime now. So first up, I'm going to throw this soft plastic out. This is a 1/5, is it? Oh no, it's a 1/6 TT head with a Helco paddle prawn. Why paddle prawn? I don't know. It was the first one I put my hand on when I reached in there. It's white, it looks good. And I do like the paddle prawns because this tail is really delicate. It's a really delicate tail. And with the light jig heads I like to use, it doesn't take hardly any sink or any movement to get this tail moving. Some of the jigs take a lot more weight to actually get the tail moving, give them some action. This one's got a real delicate tail, so it doesn't take hardly any movement to get it get the tail twitching, but it also works on the slow sink rate. So that's why I'm going with the Helco paddle prawn. So check out this paddle prawn. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's how slow my sink rate is. Little twitch, and that tail's just twitch, twitch, twitch. Looks really good in the water. I have smeared the paddle prawn, I'm not going to lie. I've smeared the paddle prawn in ProCure scent. Like I said today, I want to catch, I'm not out to be a purist today, I just want to catch fish because it's been a long time coming. I've been out quite a few times in the last few weeks and haven't seen a decent sized snapper on the deck for a while, so the time has come to get some action. Alright, and out this side, I don't normally do this, but I'm fishing a snelled rig. There you go, Jack, you've converted me. I've been getting so many hits the last few times and just not converting to hookups. I just really want to hook a fish. I haven't eaten a good snapper for a long time, and I really want to hook a decent fish on this reel that Southside gave me. So I'm going with snells. Goes against all grain of me, but tonight I'm not going to be releasing. The first fish I catch is getting slabbed. Unless it's really big, then I'll release it, but generally whatever fish, if I catch a fish, it's going to be getting slabbed tonight. So for now I'm going to fish with snells because I just want to catch a fish. Normally I'd fish with singles, as you guys know. A, for stealth, and B, because it just helps a lot when it comes to releasing fish. Fishing with singles just makes it so much easier. You don't get hooks in the gills, you don't get fish that are bleeding quite so much. Just single hooks make it a lot easier to release fish. But like I said, I want to eat a fish tonight, so if I can manage to get one, then I'll switch over to singles after that. But first of all, I've got to get one. So I've come out a bit further, so like you guys see, I'm in 16, 17 meters of water here. Reason being, as in close at the moment is crystal clear, like it's really, really clear.
If there was a bit of swell, I'd say no worries, fish inshore, but when it's crystal clear, it's nice and flat and calm like this, the fish are just crazy spooky and really hard to hook. So I find if you come out into the deeper sort of water out here, they're not quite as spooky because they've got a bit of depth to work with. I can't see the bottom here, it's not as clear here. Inshore is really clear at the moment. So I don't know, it's a bit of northerly in the wind, but I don't know, I'm backing myself in. I've got about an hour or so till the sun goes down. See if I can't turn it on in them, because it's been a long time coming for me. It's been a long time coming since I got a half decent afternoon as well. Yeah, just recently, all my time off has just managed to coincide with blowy strong weather, and I'm at work and I'm seeing photos of the ocean just totally glassed off and it's driving me nuts. So I'm happy to actually catch a half decent afternoon. I don't know what's going on actually, because the wind is blowing from the south and yet the boat is pulling to the north, which at the moment is working in my favour because there's a bit of a northerly current, so it must just be the current that's pulling the boat in that direction. But that's good because my burley's going that way and the lines are going that way as well. There's nothing worse than when the wind's blowing southerly and your boat's going that way and your baits are going forward towards the anchor rope. Just makes it really awkward to fish. So this works for me tonight. There's only one thing left to do. I'm actually really keen. I'm almost about to put a third rod out down the middle, but I feel like that could just cause me grief if I end up getting a triple hook up or something. It could be more than I'm bargaining for, so I'll just keep it at this for now. So this is the paddle prawn. I'm just slowly twitching this back in. Like I said, you don't have to work this hard. That tail's got a real subtle action. It doesn't take hardly anything, so I'm just bringing it off the bottom, let it fall back down, bring it off the bottom, let it fall back down. Just slowly twitch it in. Oh, it's got a big chunk of weed on it. First catch for the day. Lovely piece of weed. So my real goal when I'm casting out my soft plastic, because I know that's going to make it to the bottom, the muley I'm not so sure with this strong current, that's probably going to sink a bit and then maybe come back up with the current. We'll just see how that goes. But with the soft plastic, I try to cast, if I'm in 16.5, 17 metres of water when the swell comes up, I try to do a cast roughly 16, 17 metres, so it sinks and then comes down and swings down underneath the boat, hopefully without snagging the bottom out there. If you do a great big long cast, yeah, it gets it way out the back, where sometimes the bigger fish will be hanging, but if you're not fast enough to start winding it up, you also lose a lot of gear to the bottom. So using these light jig heads, it takes a while to get down there anyway. Just keeps it in the strike zone, and slowly but surely that'll just flutter its way down and then swing down and underneath the boat. And when I see the angle of the line change to sort of being, you know, not far off vertical, then I know it's down there and I'll wind it back in and chuck it back out again. Same with this bait here. This bait, I feel like this bait's probably on its way down now as well. So I'll wind this in and cast that back out. I've spoken about it before, but I like my baits to always be sinking. Just give that a bit extra line. I like my baits to always be sinking and in the strike zone, like visible. Just visible. If they're up off the bottom, they're visible to anything from around. If they're down hidden in the weed, it's really hard to see them. You also might notice I cast forward that time. Like I said, it looks like there's a fair old northerly current running here, so your baits can sort of hit the water and just sort of stay on top with the current. I'll judge that later. If I feel like I need to put a ball sinker on, I'll put a tiny ball sinker on. But what I'll do is I'll cast it forward and then that'll sink, and as the current brings it down, it'll sink underneath the boat, sink, sink, sink into the burley, and then probably go out behind the boat and then perhaps come back up at the back. If I see it's starting to come up a bit too much, then I'll put a little ball sinker on. By a little ball sinker, I'm talking about like that, a tiniest little ball sinker I can get away with, just enough to still keep that slow sink, still keep that sinking really slowly, but enough to just get it down off the surface a little bit. Now it's just a waiting game. Something's having a go. What is this? Something. Yeah, fish on. Oh, this is so awkward fishing left-handed. As I said, I've done myself a mischief to my left wrist here, so I've started fishing left-handed. It feels so awkward, it's just totally not what I'm used to. I feel like this might be a pinky. I'm fishing 80 pound on this reel. I could very easily just crank this right up, but I really just want to land a fish. At the moment, I don't want to pull hooks out of some fish's mouth. This is the little Abu Garcia that I got given by Southside Boating and Fishing to try out. Yep, it's a little pinky, and he'll probably go size. He's probably just perfect size actually. He goes 53 centimetres. So 53 centimetres. I'm going to keep him. He's a perfect feed for my family for one feed, so I'm keeping this guy. What I'm going to do is put him out of his misery and then try and get another bait in. Sun's just starting to go down. It is pretty quiet out there, to be fair. I've only got that one fish. That one pinky is the only nib I've had since I've been out here, which is pretty rare. Normally there'd be Skippy or something having a crack, but it's pretty quiet. But that's fishing. It's been very quiet. Full stop for me lately, so I'm happy just to have a fish to take home for a meal. But I'll get the burley cranking. Now's the time, where if it's going to happen, it'll start happening in the next probably 10-15 minutes as that sun hits the water and starts to disappear. So now's the time to get the burley going, change your baits, get some fresh bait out there and get ready. Hopefully it's going to kick off. Well, that's it for me tonight. I've got a fish, what I came for. I've got dinner for tomorrow night. My wife's got chicken Kievs in the oven tonight, so I'm about to get out of here. It's 6:45. By the time I get in, fillet this fish up and get home, I should be right in time for dinner. I could stay. I know this is pretty much prime time right now that I'm leaving right now, and the next half an hour on is pretty much prime time for catching big snapper, but I'm not keeping any more fish tonight anyway. I'm happy with what I've got. So I've been out, I've got me fix this afternoon. I've been out for about an hour and a little bit after work. That's all I really need, some fresh air, a bit of me time. I'm happy. I've watched the sun go down, played in beautiful conditions, and I got myself a fish. So hopefully more of this weather's going to come along. What I'd really like is a nice bit of swell, just to stir things up a little bit. This calm weather through autumn's awesome, but we kind of need a bit of a swell to stir things up a bit as well. So hopefully we'll get that in the next couple of weeks. Until then, I'll see you in the next episode. Be nice to each other, stay happy.